Take a breath, dude. Don't die on me. Oh my God. You turned to like red. You're bright red after it's a lot of like.
It's a lot of what?
a lot of non-breathing went on right there.
Yes,
so.
yes.
I got a dad joke.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I know. And I'm calling this one out. I'm not trying to sneak it in and like it's.
You just straight up. This is a dad joke.
We're
not going to sneak it in. Yep.
It cracks me up. It's not going to crack anyone else up. So, why was 4 so scared of 5?
I don't know.
6, 7.
You have to have like a 13-year-old kid to get that joke right now.
It's a stupid joke. It doesn't make any sense, but you said the word 6, 7, and I can picture my kids like doing the 6, 7 hand thing.
Yeah.
Did you know that became the word of the year?
No.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but I mean, we have a good time anytime. And it's crazy. It's like, when you are looking for, I was looking for a van, for a Guru. And, once you're done and I bought it, I still see them everywhere, cause you get there's a term for it, but you get scoped into whatever you're thinking of.
Right.
And you see it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And those vans were all still there, but if you're not thinking about them, you don't see them. And now we see 6, 7 everywhere. We'll go to the grocery store and see the number 6, 7, or somebody will say the word, or Turner will be doing his homework, and he'll be like, "Dude, it wanted me to multiply 3 times 67 or something like that."
Used to be 69. Now it's
exactly.
67.
Yep,
right?
yeah. And so it's crazy how much that has influenced my middle and high school kids.
Young high school. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I just had to throw that one out there because I'm sure there's a number of people listening that have.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that have like kids that are 13 or 15 and they know the joke. And then there's a whole bunch of other people like, what in the F are these guys talking about?
I'm waiting for, usually when the parents get in on it and they like it and they do it too, the kids want to drop it as fast as possible. So, and that's not happening.
I've been doing it though. I've been doing 6, 7. I asked both my boys to tell me the origin of it.
They don't know.
They have no fucking clue.
Most of them don't.
As a matter of fact, I've tried to find the origin of it.
It's weird.
And it's like a basketball player or some BS.
But then there's a rap song reference.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds
who knows?
of,
Who knows?
You can go deep dive and just get.
I have
way down in that.
Yeah, I lost an hour of my life trying to figure out the origin of 6, 7.
Do you know what mewing is?
Oh God, is that an NSFW thing?
No,
not safe for work.
No, it's safe. But this is mewing.
Oh, mewing. Okay,
yeah.
where you
do their they do like a.
You do that a lot, actually.
Well, I'm scratching my face.
You're Mr. Mew. No, I think you're trying.
No, this is like your jawline or something.
You're kind of
you're trying to do the like I'm suave.
This is good. You should explain what it is that you're doing because our listeners can't see you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm not. It's like this kind of
rubbing his thumb
along your jawline and like you're a model or something and kind of making the pouty face. And so my 10-year-old is doing this with his other buddies in the back seat as we're driving to something and it just cracks me out. They're doing
they're mewing.
Yeah, they're mewing. Like the stupid stuff that they do is just it's super entertaining. So it really is. I get a kick out of it. And then I love to mess it up. So I've been saying like 6'2", because there's
just be like 6'5".
Yeah, exactly. And then you don't do the arm gesture the same.
Do it upside down.
Yeah, or you
6'5".
do like make circles instead of like up and down, and then you embarrass the crap out of them in front of their friends.
Oh Jesus!
All right, that was my dad joke.
All right, so it's Wednesday night on the MCP. It's a day before Thanksgiving. Like, I don't know how we both got kitchen passes for this. Lacey's like, you're doing a podcast on the day before Thanksgiving?
Oh, I'm going to ride tomorrow morning. Oh, I don't know how I pulled that off. And then we've got our Black Friday ride. So the shop closes on Friday.
Yeah, you're like the only retail shop on the fucking planet.
Well, REI started it.
Oh,
REI started it.
Okay, tell me the story.
And so REI, I don't know who started it really, but REI.
But you noticed REI.
Yeah, we noticed REI, and this is a while back. And the concept was instead of, fighting and going and there was a lot of controversy with like Target and Walmart, like making people work on Thanksgiving so that they could be open super early,
on Black Friday.
And just taking them away from their families. And so there's some of the retail people were just like, we're not going to do that. We care about our employees and we're not going to do that. And we're not going to have this kind of like doorbuster kind of frenzy thing. That's not what's important. And so REI, I think, was one of the first to call it like opt out, and go outside. And so we embrace that because, again, I love selling stuff and I love selling bikes and I like getting people riding, but I don't want to like have some, CO2s on sale. So they're like standing at the door. I'd rather they go ride their bike, And so it's our tradition to be closed on that Friday, and then we host a ride. And sometimes we do big stuff. We'll do barbecues or events. This year, it's been pretty hard. We've had just a shorthandedness and just lots of stuff going on. So we have a more mellow just ride that we're going to do.
Yeah, if you're a badass mechanic in the Southern Arizona area and you're looking for a position, shoot us an email because Guru Bikes is looking for a mechanic.
Yeah, we need a full-time mechanic and service manager.
Sweet.
So, but it's busy. It's, it's tougher to plan.
I bet you get applications.
That would be hilarious.
Just this random comment we just made.
That would be hilarious. You have to live in Tucson. I think that's a good thing.
It wouldn't be the first time in the last couple months that someone got a job because of our podcast. Let's not tell the story, but
we have to tell that story.
Okay, tell it.
We'll tell it. No, not now.
Okay, we'll tell.
There's suspense.
We should bring him back on.
We'll bring him back on
and let him tell a story of how he came on the podcast and it ended up changing his career.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's cool. That's a good teaser. So that's
totally teaser. No one who knows who we're talking about.
No, not at all. So, but yeah. That's what's going on this weekend. I'm gonna get some riding in, and I don't know how I pulled off a Thursday and Friday ride.
Thursday, Friday ride, and Wednesday night, day before Thanksgiving podcast. And we were supposed to start at 6:00, but Dane and I have been bullshitting for an hour and 10 minutes.
Well, we had to catch up. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, you've got family in town. So it's that time of year too, like lots of family things. I looked at my schedule, and we had El Tour last weekend, which is a big perimeter race, a road bike race in Tucson. It's huge. People from all over the world, thousands and thousands of people.
El Tour to Tucson.
Yep. And then before that, we had a bike swap meet, so we were getting ready for that, which is a big thing for us. Anytime we have used bikes or used parts or takeoffs or whatever, we go out there and sell them, and it's good to connect with the community. And then we have the Tucson Tenor, which is a mountain bike race coming up.
Lacey's it's in January.
We got the poker ride.
Poker ride's coming up. This podcast will come out after the poker ride, but
we're sponsoring that.
We're donating. The Mountain Cog Podcast and Guru Bikes are collectively donating a Pivot Switchblade, brand new frame.
Yeah. Carbon fiber, $4,500 retail frame.
Yeah. Fox Factory shock. I mean, it's fucking money.
Yeah, it's cool. And so, and then the Tenors in January, and then pretty soon, right after that, we have the 24 hours in the old pub.
Yeah.
Like, my calendar is just crazy.
It's crazy because, the rest of the world's like, oh my God, it's snowing.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. And we're like, this is when we get busy.
Yeah. I was hanging out with a customer in front of the shop today, and I was just like, it is so nice out. I want to put chairs out in front and just hang out in front of the shop. So
I've been doing a lot of trail maintenance.
Sorry, wait, we should apologize because there's going to be a lot of people mad.
No, don't be mad. Here's the deal: like if you're missing your bike right now, or if you're going to miss your bike in January, just send us an email, and come down to Tucson. We'll show you all the places. We'll take you out and ride.
How cool would that be to have a Mountain Cog listener event?
Ooh, we should throw that around.
Oh, that would be fun. Around. I would be down for that.
Yeah, we should throw that around. So if anyone is vaguely interested in that, shoot us a note and we'll
it'd be fun.
We'll figure something out, man. We'll figure something out. Okay, so tonight we thought, I guess it's probably worth just commenting. Like this podcast has grown significantly in the last several months. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to thank our listeners.
Absolutely.
The completion rates, which is like how long you all are listening to each episode, is like still best in the industry.
Sounds like you're telling your friends, which is nice.
You must be telling your friends. We're still in the top 10. You guys like what we're saying. We take all of your feedback like really seriously. So we read every comment. We may not respond to everyone, but we read everyone, and we try to factor that into like how we plan episodes going forward and how Dane and I talk and what guests we bring on. So please keep sending us that feedback, and we will continue to shape this. One thing that's been very, very clear to us in the numbers is that you guys really like these Bike Shop Secret episodes, so we'll keep doing those. And it dawned on me that my idiocy on working on bikes will have no end, and Dane's expertise on working on bikes will also have no end. And so that's a perfect mixture between those two things.
You do make me sound perfect, and I'm not. And,
no, you're not.
And it definitely not. And
you're just slightly better than me.
Well, and what happens is we learn every day. Like every day, people bring in stuff, and we learn. I remember a customer, very nice guy. He bought a pivot from us. And I would bet he's an engineer. He's a super nice guy.
Right.
And we were having a problem with this derailleur. And I kept telling him it was this. And we were just running into an issue and we were trying to troubleshoot it. And man, that guy is the type of guy who will go online, absorb, and memorize everything about that bike.
Right.
And he called me on a couple things that I said were wrong. And I just felt like the biggest idiot, And luckily, he's a nice enough guy that he still comes in. I just saw him last week, and he's a really nice guy. His wife has a pivot. He has a pivot. Yeah. And it's just kind of, I get smacked in the face once in a while. And somebody will be like, put me in my place, which is good. I need that. And most of the time, I try and phrase things never
absolute.
Yeah, because it's you can always be wrong. Like there's always something that'll pop up, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't.
Dude, that's a great disclaimer. So as a strategist, and you guys got a little taste in episode 114. I think the first time ever that you got a little taste of like Josh is as an expert in something.
Yeah, that's the D2C one.
In the Wired D2C brands failing, and we did a little experiment to see if we got nerdy on business fundamentals, if you guys like that stuff. That's kind of what I do in my day job. But what I tell my senior leaders, because we're strategic advisors to a big company, is that like I'm going to come to you with 10 recommendations. If you take my recommendation 4 times out of 10, 40% of the time, then I know I've earned my money, because these guys are really smart, well-paid, smart guys, very capable leaders, very capable strategists in their own right. But if I can bring new data and change your mind, change the direction of your business, change how you're deploying your resources, whatever, 4 times out of 10, then I've earned my keep. Yeah. That means 6 times out of 10, you're like, Josh, you're a freaking idiot. Get out of here. So,
if that was Turner's homework, you would be failing. I'm just saying. 40% is not going to cut it, bro.
Yeah. I mean, when you're trying to turn a $90 billion company around, yeah.
You need to be getting a 67 or so.
67. All right. So we've got you guys told us you like the products.
Yeah.
Dane and I have a couple products that we want to talk about. And then we've got some bike shop secrets. And then, since Dane is a suspension expert, if we get to it, hopefully we get to it, and we'll see if we have time. We probably won't. But
I would go a little longer.
We can go a little longer.
I mean,
that last episode, the only problem...
You cut it up.
The only problem with going longer is it takes me fucking forever to get it down to...
I know, but that's what I mean. You can go a little longer. They can be a little longer. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and sorry, I'm on a
tangent. It's causing us to record more.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But it was super annoying because it was like this retail podcast, and every episode was like 15 minutes, and I was really annoyed.
Well, we don't do 15 minutes, but like it's like an hour is roughly
saying,
the right.
Like there's no rule.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't post it or whatever.
Well, lots of women like to listen to us while they're going to sleep. We've heard that many, many times. And if we go longer than an hour, we might disrupt their sleep. So we have to keep it roughly an hour. All right.
There you go.
So we've got some products. We've got some bike shop secret questions. And then I've still not like completely demystified the enigma that is setting up my suspension.
Okay.
And so what I thought, to try to attack this a different way, instead of talking about all the different variables,
do one at a time.
We would deep dive in one variable, and assuming we can get to it today, sag, which as I understand it is like everything's based on sag. Yep. It starts if your sag's effed up, everything's effed up.
Yep. Yeah.
I thought we would deep dive on that, and then we can go into low speed compression, high speed compression, rebound, low speed rebound, high speed rebound. And there's probably more.
Yeah, like so we could do that on each episode.
Yeah, just do like one little chunk, a deep dive.
I'm down.
And if you listen to like 7 or 8 episodes, you'll be an expert in how you set up your suspension.
I'm not going to say that.
All right, let's get into some products.
Okay.
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first because you did all the writing. So
there's this company. So if you go back a few episodes, and I apologize off the top of my head, I can't remember the episode, but if you go back a few episodes, and by a few, I mean like 50. You'll get to Tyler Vandruff, who is the co-owner of Guru Bikes, also owns Vandruff Fit Solutions. And you'll hear us talk about bike fitting. We've had 2 bike fit episodes, one with Frank the Fitter, one with Tyler. And we're big advocates. We talked about in episode 114 that we're big advocates of bike fits. It's a small investment that can make huge gains with little tweaks to your bike, and you wouldn't believe it until you actually do it.
Yeah.
But one of the brands that Tyler's like really into that I see him kind of slinging, and I look back right behind me. We're in the Guru Bike Shop right now, and right behind me I can see Tyler's Fit Studio. Is this company called SQ Labs? It's a German company, and it's a company that really focuses on ergonomics of the. This is Josh's words, not their words, but ergonomics on the contact points of where the rider contacts the bike. So your seat, your grips, and your pedals.
And your bars. They do
and
bars.
Your bars, correct.
And then they're science orientated. It's the reason I say that, and I break in, and sorry, is because one of the things that happens is sometimes bike stuff gets kind of over marketed or fashion based.
Yeah.
And the scientists kind of get shoved to the back.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing to me, though, but when a scientist gets involved in some of this stuff, it really makes a big difference.
So the science of ergonomics.
Yep. Yeah.
And they have taken I think a really thorough ergonomic scientific approach to these contact points. And I have been running a set of their grips. These are kind of like gravity enduro grips. Mm-hmm. They're by SQ Labs, Sierra Quebec Labs, and they're the 70X 2.0 Pro Grips. I got to talk to him about marketing and naming because that name sucks.
Yeah, the whole industry,
70X Pro Grips. They're like $40, lock-on grips.
Yeah,
they're fucking fantastic. As a matter of fact, tonight, actually this evening before they closed the drawer in the shop, I went to Tyler and I said, I need 2 more pair of those so I can replace them. So now all of my flat bar bikes will have these 70X 2.0 Pro Grips from SQ Labs. And here's their philosophy behind it. So like if you have ever experienced the concept of arm pump, which I think specifically at like bike parks, it happens a lot.
Yeah. Long descents.
Long descents, it happens a lot. But that is a combination, this is their words, of repeated impacts and a constant like tough grip. Mm-hmm. Those two things equal reduced blood flow to your forearms, and reduced blood flow to your forearms results in arm pump, and then you can't hang on to your bars. Mm-hmm. So they set out to try to see what could they do with grips to help combat that. They came up with these grips, the 70X 2.0 Pro Grips. And just for the record, like, I'm not getting paid by SQ Grips.
No, they didn't even give you some.
They haven't given me anything. As a matter of fact, I'm so in love with this company. I've got 2 different contact points. I've sent them a cold email asking them to come on the podcast, and we're working through the rep to see if they can come on the podcast because I want you guys to hear about this. Yeah. Because this brand and these products, this is a low cost. It's so funny. The bike I'm looking on right there has a set of SQ Grips on it, but it's a low cost way to like upgrade and make your bike feel way better. Grips, saddle, pedals. Those are not expensive components, right? It's not a fork. It's not a drivetrain, really inexpensive things. It has changed my relationship with my bike. The vibration dampening is amazing. They're super comfortable. I think the way I can explain it is like, it's really easy to hang on when you're going through like really, really technical chattery stuff. Like it's not as hard to hang on. And then the weird thing is it like really slightly reorients the angle of your arms. Yeah. And it just feels awesome. They've got this, I don't want to go into all their marketing shit, but they've got some like new compound that they've used. They call it TPE. That they say is like the reason why it's got these dampening characteristics. But it's just fantastic. They say it reduces peak loads and delays forearm fatigue. Huh. I don't know about all that. I just know when I ride them, they feel fucking great. My arms don't get sore. So anyways, from a product perspective, if you're thinking about some new grips, or if you're a bike fucking nerd and you just want to blow, and it's not super expensive. It's $40.
Yeah. They're not crazy.
Yeah, not crazy. I mean, maybe $40 is expensive for grips. I don't know. Is $40 expensive for grips?
It's on par. Like it's a nice grip, like lock-ons, you know, good quality. You can get them cheaper, you know, $20 to $30.
Okay.
So, and then there's different brand loyalties. Did you know that I'm going to talk about grips too?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. So Dane's going to talk about grips. He's got another set of grips that he loves.
Yeah.
I didn't take two, but that's okay because different people like different things.
Yeah.
That's totally cool. Anyways, so my product that I just wanted to highlight today is these SQ grips, and hopefully,
and you're making me want a set of those, which I could easily get a set.
Yeah, they're sitting right across from you, man. There's one thing I just want to say.
Okay.
Like you can, if you do want to buy some, you can buy them from their website. You can find a local shop that has them. Obviously, we love the local shop concept. So if your local shop sells them, go there.
Well, and you kind of, I mean, just for the local versus buying online, one of the things that they really focus on is a very different variety for depending on your ergonomics. So having somebody who knows the product really well to help walk you through to get the right product is really helpful.
Really helpful.
And I've seen in the shop with SQ product, if you get, there's a lot of variances that will change. And if you get the wrong product, you may not have the same experience like you did. And so having an expert help you with that is worth it. And I would say that's something to consider, you know?
Yeah. I mean, okay. So they have this printout on their website that you can print out.
Yep.
And it's just a hand and you put your hand on it and it says, because these grips come in small, medium, and large.
Yep.
And it says, okay, based on this hand size, you should be small, medium, or large. I'm kind of like halfway between medium and large.
Yeah.
And so talking with Tyler tonight, and I'm like, I really like the larges. They feel good, but maybe I'm closer to a medium. He's like, bro, just fucking stick. You know you like the larges. Just buy larges. So that's what I did tonight.
Yeah, yeah. And that it helps to have somebody kind of, especially if you run into that mid-level between two products or something like that. It's nice to have that advice. Plus you're getting feedback. Plus you may end up with the wrong product. And having somebody that you can go back to and say, hey, I think this is wrong. Can we switch it out? They may have a policy that helps you with that.
And for the record, I have bought several pairs of these grips from you guys, all from you guys.
Yeah.
And I've given them out to people.
Yeah.
And I've given them out to 3 people, and those 3 people love them.
Yep.
In addition to me.
Yeah.
So I've got 4 data points.
So you got good.
It's that's just one. I mean, maybe a sample size of 4 is bad.
Yeah.
But I don't have a bad sample yet. Yeah. Of like, hey, I didn't really get along with those. Everyone's like, I fucking love those. As a matter of fact, one of my buddies sold his bike, bought a new bike, bought a switch. He sold his Mach 4, bought a switchblade. He's like,
pulled the grips off.
I'm missing. He didn't pull the grips off.
He hasn't learned that trick yet.
He came to my house. He's like, oh, I'm really missing my grips. I'm like, I just so happen to have another pair. Nice. So I've given him 2 sets of these grips.
So what you're saying is everybody hang out at Josh's house.
Hang at Josh's house. If you bring a bottle of whiskey, you'll get some free grips.
Hey, I have something to say.
Shoot.
Okay, here we go. That's what I had to say right there. Okay.
All right, so over to you with your product.
Switching to a different type of grip that we're going to review. And you actually helped me with this because you gave me the ones that you had.
Yeah.
And you didn't like them. And I said, hey, I want to try those. I've been hearing good things and I want to give them a shot. I want to see if I like them for similar reasons. Arm pump. But also, just I ride aggressive and my body is feeling it lately. And so it doesn't help that I keep breaking stuff. But so they are called Rev Grips. And so some people have heard of these, some people haven't. But Rev Grips they have different types of patterns and different widths. So you can buy them in different sizes, usually a small, medium, and large also. But they use a end cap that suspends the grip in a rubber elastic kind of way that allows them to rotate and move and absorb a little shock. And so I was selling a pair today actually to a friend of mine. I was telling him that I really liked them, and we were kind of going through like the pros versus they have a race series, and then they have some other, different versions.
So it has like an elastomer inside the lock-ons?
The lock-ons, yeah. So the big concept is, and this is common with a lot of grips, is they're starting to go to like a more of a solid core with sometimes they only have one clamp on the inside.
Yep.
And you slide them onto the bar. And the one clamp is actually integrated into kind of the plastic of that helps maintain its security. So it doesn't twist.
Rigidity.
Yeah.
Right.
And so one of the problems with that is you're now taking up some space with not rubber, but plastic.
Right.
And so if they're too thin, you may get more pressure points. You don't have as much cushion. I've had that. I bought some cool looking purple grips, and I got them because they were purple. And I put them on my bike because I had purple accents. And then I went out and rode them, and man, they are killing my hands. And so as cool looking as they are causing a problem. So I need to replace them.
But the Rev Grips come in many different colors as well.
Yes. Yeah.
By the way, SQ Labs as well is now coming in many different colors.
Are they?
It used to be black, just black.
Yeah.
And then I got on their website and there were many different colors. And
Yeah.
Tyler's like, hey, did you know they're coming out with new colors soon? I'm like, they're already on the website.
That's cool.
Yep.
So yeah, everybody likes a little bling. And so, I really wasn't worried about the bling because honestly, once you have like some sharp points and hand numbness, you don't care what your grips look like.
Yeah.
You just want them not to hurt your hands.
My hands don't go no numb.
So it is nice if the company that you do like has the color options, but really I was going for comfort. I wasn't necessarily going for arm pump. But I wanted, something to take the edge off. I've been trying different things like the one-up bar, which is a carbon fiber bar that is flattened out to give you more of kind of a leaf spring to take some of the bump off. And then I've just now started to do these Rev Grips. And
do they come in different sizes too?
Oh yeah. They'll come in different sizes and shapes, so you can go on their website and get them. We do stock them at the shop, so you can find local sources for them too.
They're a San Diego-based company too.
Yeah, so we met them at Sedona.
Yep.
When we went to Sedona, and they're our machining company. So the kind of the interesting thing about them is they actually do their own in-house machining.
And that would be for like the end caps.
Yeah, and they're made in the USA. And I don't remember the story that they gave us fully, but I think it had to do with they basically saw a way to kind of create more comfort, and then they had the ability to make what they needed so they could try it out and fine-tune it.
So Rev Grips is kind of like a suspension grip.
Yes, yeah. And so what happens is that hard inner plastic almost floats over your bar.
It does. I mean, the grips move a little bit, right?
And the end caps clamp onto your bar and hold that inner piece in a place.
Yeah.
And then the elastic allows for movement both up and down and twisting.
And they come with different elastomers, right? So they have like a couple different?
Lately, the ones that we've gotten only come with one set.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so there's different versions. So there is way too many versions for me to actually go on. But the concept is that you can get them and then you can fine tune them. That you can get different color end caps. You can get different grip styles and grip widths.
And different elastomer.
Yep. And the idea is it allows for a little bit more comfort. And, like a lot of people that come to me for suspension are trying to get more small bump compliance. And sometimes your suspension just can't do that for whatever reason. You could be riding a 32 millimeter, 100 millimeter fork, and racing it, and it's just not going to be a supple fork.
This is why you love DVO.
Yeah, well, but also I don't ride a 32 millimeter, 100 millimeter DVO. They don't have one that I'll ride. I ride a Fox, and so the Fox is a little firmer and a little bit less forgiving because honestly, when you have 100 millimeters of travel, you don't have a lot of room to create comfort, And so these grips can kind of compensate for that. Or like I said, I was trying the one-up bar, which does the same kind of concept, just increase your comfort,
Yep.
So these Rev Grips, I've put them on a couple bikes. I had them on that Frameworks that I was testing and using them at the bike park. They were the bigger size, the large, and I did actually notice a lot less arm pump with them. I noticed, it's a little bit of a sensation. If you get on the bike and you grab that grip and you twist it or turn it like a throttle, like you would, you can feel it move. And so I was a little concerned that I would get on the trail.
Be like out of control or something.
Yeah, it would affect me.
But that didn't happen at all.
Not at all. I didn't notice it on the trail at all. I didn't notice that affecting how I ride or, when I pull up for an obstacle or push down to go down a drop or something.
Yep.
It didn't really affect it in any way. And so I was really happy with them. So unlike you didn't experience the same things and we didn't ride them the same, but you didn't have as good of experience. You found the SQ Labs. I found these, and I've been very happy with them so far. And so now I've actually got a demo set that we bought that are like this tennis ball green. Or yellow, or whatever you want to call it. That's safety yellow. Safety yellow. So they will get dirty immediately.
Yep.
But I got a deal
especially in the
them.
desert.
Yeah, and so we actually are telling people, if you really want to try them, I'll let you try those.
So what are the price points?
Oh man, they go all over $59.99 to $89.
Okay.
Today or yesterday, I was selling a pair, and you got to forgive me because I haven't memorized this product.
Yeah.
It's fairly new in the shop. But we were trying to figure out what the difference. He goes, "What's the difference?" And so we pulled the elastomers out, and they both had the same amount, and they were both the same color. So I don't think there's any difference there. I looked at the end caps. You do run them with end caps that are plugs that go in as a safety feature, really to keep that on in case you don't tighten the end cap correctly.
Yeah,
and,
you should always torque your
yeah
your grips.
Well, it's funny because I always recommend, people read instructions, but I don't always push them to it. I watched a Berm Peak. Jesus. Berm
Seth
Peak.
Alva.
Seth. Try these grips out on his first episode. He didn't read the instructions, didn't install them correct, and they came off, and he didn't like them. And what I remember is watching.
Oh, we're calling out Seth Alva.
Oh no, he did it in his video. He was pretty honest about it.
He was like, "I screwed this up."
Yeah, he said it, and so he then, like, I think it was a video or two later, shows up with him still on his bike. And because he was not recommending, he's like, these are expensive and $70-$80. I'm not going to pay for, grip that, and he's
very cost conscious.
Yeah. And that's okay. And I think he was actually comparing them to like an AliExpress grip or something, or I'm not sure.
He does that a lot.
Yeah. But later I found it really interesting that he had him on his bike, and I think then said, hey, to be fair, I read the instruction, put them on correct, and I really like these grips. So it kind of made me understand when I'm selling them, to make sure people kind of I
read if you're buying a product.
Yeah,
especially if you're buying a premium, like these would be premium grips.
Yeah, they're premium. Yeah.
Read the fucking instructions.
Well, and they're not just straightforward. You don't just tighten them down, and so and then the end caps go on to keep them on, in case you didn't do that.
But for the record, they're not fucking hard to install.
It's
just more nuanced than just tighten it and go.
Like, to give you pointers, the elastomers are directional.
Yes.
So you can't put them in backwards.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe I put them in backwards.
It's possible. So
back to our bike shop secrets.
Yeah. So like, if you don't install them correct, you may not have the best. So read the instructions. They have good instructions. They're there.
Just for the record, when I said I'm not a big fan of them.
Yeah.
I didn't read the instructions. I mean, I looked at the diagram real quick.
Sound very Sethy right now.
No one's ever called me Sethy before.
But yeah, that's my review of grips. So like, two different products doing two different things, but kind of tackling
the same problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're both great products. And so I did notice that I can't quite tell, and I haven't deep dove into the difference between the Pro Series and the Race Series. I noticed
you're talking about
like the $59 grip has the end caps aren't sculpted. They don't have like these little reliefs of machine work. And they're $59. And then I noticed on the Pro Series, the end caps are machined out, probably for weight, looks, cosmetics, whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's one big difference that I saw. I'm not 100% sure if the Pro grips end up coming with. I didn't notice extra elastomers.
Listen, if you want to know the difference between the Pro grips and the non-Pro grips, go to your favorite AI tool and just ask it.
Yeah, you could ask Bob. But yeah, so far, and if you are in Tucson and you want to try them out, you can come by the shop. We'll show them to you, and we have a pair that you can try out.
And you also sell SQ Labs.
Yes, yeah, and so you can check them both out.
All right, so there's two really inexpensive products that I think can significantly improve your ride.
Yeah, big time.
Awesome Christmas present.
Yes.
If anyone's looking to get a last minute Christmas present.
That's a good point. We have people come in all the time that want presents, and you're like, well, I can't sell you a shoe because you probably don't even know the size. Even the tires are a tough one. We often sell socks. Socks are something that cyclists don't always buy themselves, and cycling socks are great.
But a set of SQ Labs or Rev Grips.
Yep.
Right. If you know they got big, medium, or small hands,
they may not spend that money on themselves, and so you're giving them
something cool. Something cool. That'd be good. Okay,
it's not bad.
All right, we're gonna get into the bike shop secret stuff.
We had another one.
We have another one.
Well, we were going to talk about the other thing that I was testing.
Oh, go for it.
So this is suspension related.
Yeah.
So I've been testing the Fox Podium.
Okay.
So
it's an inverted fork.
Yep. If you
Kind of a
guys
38.
Yeah, if you've been near anyone watching YouTube, you've probably seen videos on this product. So I'm not getting into like all of the little stuff. I'm just going to tell you some of my experiences. We brought them in, and I took one basically and put it on my bike right away. And it looks bitching. I'll tell you,
It's
it looks
super
bitching.
cool. It looks like a motorcycle.
It does. It is inverted. So like you said, the stanchions.
Explain what that means.
So the stanchions are at the axle. They're upside down. So it looks like a motorcycle fork. And on a traditional bike, you have a lower casting that has an arch that goes over the tire. If you were to flip that thing upside down, you've now got the gold part. So a Fox factory has gold stanchions, Kashima, and they're now down at the bottom, and they actually attach to your axle. And so the telescoping part that compresses into the fork that compresses is going in from the bottom up instead of the God, it's harder. It's harder to, I'm trying to visualize, how to tell people this. So
the bottom of the fork is the top of the fork.
Yeah, it's upside down.
It's upside.
Yeah.
It looks like an upside down fork.
Super. Yeah,
it looks like an upside down fork.
Yeah, it does.
Which has been around in motorcycles forever.
Yes. I raced
and
for,
and there's been several. The Maverick way back in the day. Push has got one.
Yep.
There's a couple other companies that have them. So
I used to race for Marzocchi, and our race forks were called the Shiver, and that was that fork. It was upside down fork. And then actually my DVO, one of my first DVO race downhill forks was called the Emerald. It was also upside down. They had a clever design where they made the mud guards so stiff, the fork protection, because when your stanchions are down low, they're now near the rocks. And so that's one of the drawbacks to inverted.
But they have it's got some
covers
to cover it. Right?
Yeah, and if you look at motorbikes, like off-road motorcycles, they often will have this type. It looks very moto. So, okay. So we're past the looks. So benefits are more of the weight is attached to the bike, and the suspended piece is lighter. So it allows the wheel, they call that unsprung weight, that allows the wheel to be more fluid and have less weight and inertia when it flows over obstacles. So, and that is something that typically causes a smoother ride. So you get a smoother, softer ride. And like you said, there's other brands out there, Intend, Push. There's a couple other ones. There's some funky ones. Ren makes one for fat bikes. Most of the forks on the market, I will tell you, have serious drawbacks. Like
most of the inverted forks.
Inverted. In most cases, they are more flexy. And so when this fork came out, that was my biggest concern. Is this thing going to be a flexy monster, or my wheel just wanders all over the place? And then a lot of inverted forks will have an issue where the oil sits on the seals, the wipers that are it's gravity holding, that oil on top of that. So that actually is a benefit because it keeps your wipers moist so that they can be more supple.
Say that again.
Moist.
Supple.
Moist.
Moist
supple.
and supple.
Supple and moist. And
moist.
So it's a good thing, but like Dorado, we didn't mention the Dorado, which is a Manitou downhill fork that's been doing this for ages.
Back in the day?
Yeah. No, still
around?
Brand new one. Yeah. They're pretty awesome. So, and they've been doing it for years, and they conquered some of the flex issues because they have like a hex axle. So they shape the axle like a hex, so it is less likely to twist in the lowers.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So you've got all these brands doing it, trying to figure out the drawbacks and everything. How is Fox different? Well, one, the downhill forks are triple, which means they have an upper clamp, a lower clamp under the headset, so one above and one below. And the fork upper tubes are held by two clamps at the top, and then you have the axle at the bottom. So that sometimes people call that a triple clamp or a double clamp. Like there's a lot of terms that will get thrown around, but basically the big thing is you'll see, unlike an enduro fork like a Fox 38 or DVO Onyx, you'll see the upper tubes going farther up and then a clamp on the top of the headset that holds them. So the Podium is not a triple clamp. It's a single crown.
Right.
and they kind of have the same settings and same adjustments that you would get on a Fox 38.
So high speed, low speed, compression, high speed, low speed rebound.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, set your sag.
Yeah, they even have these clever little bleeder valves on the top caps, because if you invert the fork, on a traditional big 38 millimeter fork, often you're going to start seeing these bleeders on the back of them. These little, sometimes it's a knob you turn to let air out, because that
sometimes it's something you push in.
Yep, sometimes there was a lawsuit about that. It's pretty funny. But anyway, they'll have something. So a lot, the big three, DVO, Fox, and RockShox all have those.
Yep.
So, and at that big size, the amount of air that's in that casting acts like a spring, and they have to calculate that. So what's crazy is when you change altitude, like you drive up to the top of a mountain or take a chairlift, the air pressure can affect that. And so sometimes you need to bleed that off depending on your
So
altitude.
if you have those bleed ports, here's a little PSA. If you have a big fork like that and you have those bleed ports on there, if you go up in altitude significantly, like a couple thousand feet or higher or more, you should, at the top of that, you should bleed that off. And we experienced that with the 38 that I put on my Gorilla at Angel Fire. Because I went up and I did my first fucking downhill, and I was like, Jesus, this bike is this
stiff
fork is horrible. It's stiff and
Yeah.
it won't compress and it feels awful. And Dane's like, come here. And he's like, and he presses in the bleed valves. Is like, shh.
Yeah, there's a big
He's like,
difference.
you idiot.
Yeah.
You see these two knobs, like press them.
And sometimes, like from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain, you may not see a big difference, like at a chairlift park.
Yeah.
But if you are in San Diego and you go to Whistler, well, Whistler's bad because it's actually not as high. But if you're in San Diego and you go to Angel Fire and you go to 10, 12,000 feet above sea level, there's a big change in that. And so also the fork can kind of build up some pressure, depending on heat expansion and all kinds of reasons. There's a lot of reasons. So downhill forks have done this for a long time. They've had kind of bleeders, moto forks for sure. And so this is kind of new to bikes and we're all learning it. But the fact is that casting is big and it allows for that. So the Podium now has the casting on the top. So they put them right on the top of the fork. They're really cool. So okay. So
performance wise,
let me skip ahead because everybody can look up the specs on this thing. They can know the travel. They can know all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But what I experienced with the fork, it's an expensive fork, by the way. This is a $2,000 fork.
And to compare it, so it's in the 38 class.
Yeah.
A Fox 38 factory MSRP is $1,249. Does that sound right?
Yep. Yeah.
So it's $750 more expensive.
Yep. Exactly. And it comes in a 160 and a 170, so there's not a 180.
Interesting. Okay.
So that was one of the first things that put a couple people off because they're running like their Firebirds with 180s or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's skip over the specs and go to the performance. So I put this.
Can we talk about weight for a second?
Oh yes, it's heavier.
So the Fox 38, it's almost a pound heavier than the Fox 38.
Yes, absolutely.
So $750 more and a pound heavier.
Sounds awful.
Sounds awful.
Why would you buy this?
Why would you buy this?
And honestly, that was my attitude. That was absolutely
because you're a weight guy.
Well, and also because I like value, and like if I can't run 180, it's heavier. I don't like heavier.
Yep.
And I've had inverted forks and I've experienced all those drawbacks. So I'm not like, oh, this is the latest, greatest thing. I'm like, you guys are just rehashing old stuff, So I stick it on my bike.
What bike did you stick it on?
I stick it on my Pivot All Mountain.
Didn't you have it on the Frameworks?
No.
Okay.
No, the Frameworks has a 40 on it.
Okay.
Because it's a downhill bike and it needs 200.
Gotcha. Okay. So you had on a Pivot.
Yep. Yeah. If I had the Frameworks Enduro, I would have put it on there.
Gotcha.
So I put it on my e-bike. Okay. So one of the things that early on people are like, oh, this is great for an e-bike because the weight won't matter. Right. And so, and that's realistic. Like, hey, you're getting a heavier weight, but it won't matter on an e-bike. And so then it's not a big deal. So
that's all you ride is e-bikes anyways. So.
That's not true.
It's, by the way, just for the record, I make that joke like once every 6 episodes. It's actually not true. I just like fucking with Dane.
Hey, and just side note, side quest. That's what all the kids are saying, side quest.
Okay.
I'm testing that new Trek Fuel EX. It's modular.
It's money, huh?
And I had a good time on that thing. We'll maybe even do a review on that. So,
okay.
But back to the Podium. So here I am in the mindset that I don't think this thing's worth it. I did bring them into the shop because I think it's hot and some people just want it. And
it's sexy. It's cool looking. It's different.
It is definitely cool looking. Yeah. I will tell you, they have these carbon fiber guards to protect it, and you don't have to
protect the stanchions, right?
Yeah, you don't have to protect them, but it helps.
You should.
Especially in Tucson.
Yeah,
we have rocky terrain, but it is a sexy fork. It's no doubt when people see that fork, they're like, "Wow!"
It turns heads.
And I have had plenty of people come in here and buy something just because of the looks.
Because it turns heads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nothing wrong. They ride it on the loop or paved path, you know. They never take it out on the woods. So back to the performance. I put it on my e-bike and went and rode with you. And I thought it was with you, a trail we call Prison Camp.
Yeah, it was with me.
And
that's when Steve and Chris both crashed.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They crash every day.
They don't. Steve, Chris doesn't crash every day, but they crashed that day.
Yeah. Okay. So, but we were getting ready for an Angel Fire trip, and I wanted to test it out. Yeah. And there, I noticed it was really supple, and I was like, "Wow, this is good." I had to set my pressure and do some fiddling with it to make sure it was set up for me. You know, set my sag. But man, I was like pretty impressed with it in a small bump. But was it $2,000 and heavier worth it? I wasn't really feeling it like that as I climbed up to get to that downhill.
Yeah.
And then as I went down, here's the big performance, couple big things that I noticed. One, it is so much stiffer, forward and back, so laterally and twisting.
So not when you say stiff, not the suppleness of the fork itself.
The opposite. It's super supple.
It's super supple.
Yeah.
But the flexion that would happen in the stanchions itself.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
My big fear,
stiff in a good way.
Yeah.
The way my wife likes that kind of stiff.
Oh, don't go there. So the main thing is it would absorb the bumps, amazing, and super supple, and it smoothed the trail out, made it really comfortable.
Right.
But if I hit something big, it didn't push back. It didn't flex backwards. Yeah. And then when I went through a rock garden, it wasn't wandering. And it's almost too stiff in the rock garden. And what would happen is it's so stiff that if my front wheel was pointed at a rock, on a traditional fork, it would glance the rock. It would hit that rock and maybe glance off to it and wander back into the trail.
It makes sense.
You visualize
and
that?
That's unusual for an inverted fork because typically
it's the opposite.
They're
super
right?
noodly. Yeah. And so, in fact, I had to be careful if we were in kind of a trough and riding in a trough with sides. If I pointed at the side, accidentally, I'm not doing it on purpose, but I got offline, it will crawl right up the side. It wouldn't flex over and put me in. And so some riders may ride this fork and actually miss that. They may like the fact that if a flexier fork wanders and keeps them into the trail,
they may miss that flexiness.
They may like that kind of cheat code, that does.
That's me.
But the biggest performance thing, and here's my everything
sales
I'm
pitch.
telling. Yeah,
sales pitch.
Not even a sales pitch, but
this is what you love about it.
Yeah, this is where it made it really hard. I took that thing off the bike because we rent that fork so people can try it before they buy it. And it was very difficult for me to take it off my bike. On the same trail, there is a notorious corner. And you come into this corner.
Are you talking about Prison Camp now?
Yeah. Okay. And it's a notorious corner. You're coming in, it's pretty rough, and you have an immediate right hand hairpin, but you're coming in a rocky situation. You're dropping down in, and you have to do a hard right as you're going down off of rocks, and then you run right back into rocks before you make the corner, before you straighten out and finish out that corner. And what typically happens when you see somebody crash here is as they're turning, their fork will bind. Okay, and that's the word that everybody has to hear. It will bind. It'll get stiff, and it will kick you over the front end, and you'll flip over the bars.
So this is because there's flexion or
deflection,
deflection in the actual fork, and it's not able to compress because it's bent, like the stanchions are bent, and it'll stop.
Yeah.
And when it stops and you hit something, instead of sucking up the bump, it'll just stop.
You ever sit on your dropper a little too far back and it doesn't want to go down?
Yeah. Well, I'm a heavy guy. That happens all the time.
Right? And so what's happening is that stanchion is trying to go down, but you're offsetting it to one side so much that it binds.
Yep.
And so then you have to kind of do your hip movement to get it forward so that it goes down.
So this thing didn't bind.
It did not. It did not. And so this corner is notorious. You're also coming in at a downhill angle, so you're weighting the front of the bike.
Did I clear this corner?
Yeah, you did it slowly.
Well, that's not what I asked. I didn't ask how fast I did.
Oh, okay.
Did I clear the corner?
You made it.
I rock.
Yeah.
Josh rocks. Josh rules.
It is a tough corner. And it's a corner that I actually am timid of when I'm coming into because it's very easy to flip over the bars.
When Dane says timid, that means he slows down from 20 miles an hour to 17 miles an hour.
Yeah. But lately it's a little slower after I broke my collarbone. But anyway, I'm coming into this. You're also weighting the front. You're putting the brakes on so the fork dives. You're also at an angle where you're weighting the front. Your whip mass is over the front. So you have a lot of opportunity for that fork to kind of pack down, which changes the geometry of the bike. And now you got to turn
while all that's happening
and go around a hairpin corner. And then there's more. There's a rock sitting right there that you run into that the fork has to go over. Otherwise, it will stop you again. And so this fork hit that corner like you wouldn't believe. Like it didn't bind one bit. It didn't pack one bit. And as I'm turning, because it was so stiff and precise, it hit that next obstacle, rolled right over it with no problems. And I didn't slow down. You know, I couldn't believe it. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I ride a lot of forks. I ride a lot of products and I do them aggressively and I hit hard stuff a lot. This was the one time when I was like, this is a huge game changer. Like it was definitely that instant of many people going over the bars in that place. I mean, if you sit on the hill and watch
two guys with us on that ride.
Yeah. It sends people over the bar all the time. It's a tough corner. And I will tell you, man, this fork was like, I'm blown away because I was prepared for binding. I was prepared for all that stuff. So when it didn't happen, I was so surprised.
You're like, whoa.
I was like, whoa.
Woo!
Yeah. And it really showed the benefits to this fork. It went from being just a fork that is expensive and heavy
and cool looking.
Yeah. I mean, that's a benefit. It's cool looking.
Yeah.
But it went from that to, holy crap, I can actually see a performance difference where people would ride this fork and benefit not only in a performance, but if you're not a performance guy, if you're not racing, it's a safer fork in that kind of terrain, you know?
Okay. So I got to ask you, so the reason that we brought this up was, the reason I have it on the list was it's 750. It's in the 38 class.
Yep. Yeah.
$750 more expensive, 1 pound heavier.
Yep. Yeah.
You just told us all the great things.
Yep.
Vital, Pink Bike, many other entities have reported problems with this fork.
Yes.
So I want to talk about just like what I've read, and then you can tell me, and it's kind of in 3 categories. I'll tell you the 3 categories and you can tell me your thoughts. So first is seals leaking.
Okay.
It sounds like that was an early version and that Fox has solved that, but you tell me what you think. Bushing alignment and friction is the second topic.
Okay.
And the third is that the axle installation is finicky, nuanced, and if done wrong, can cause the fork to bind.
Okay. All right. So first one is oil leaking. Yes.
Seal leaking.
Yes, seal leaking. So because it's inverted, the wipers are also oil seals. They have the oil sitting on them all the time. So on a traditional fork, your oil actually sits at the bottom.
Yep.
And you have to...
So it's not in direct contact with the seal at all times.
Not sitting. In fact, they have foam wipers on them to try and keep them moist because they'll dry out. And then what happens?
And those foam wipers kind of dump down into the bath.
No, they're sitting up there. They just hold the oil longer.
Gotcha.
It's like just think of like a sponge. No, like a sponge. A cleaning sponge.
I gotcha. Yep.
And it just holds that oil longer, and so that it can kind of just slowly drain down the fork and keep everything moist. But when the fork compresses, it pushes the oil out of the way, and there's little slots, and sometimes the newer forks will have a channel that directs the oil back up there again. So it pumps it around, which is why when you're doing a lower service, it's important that you do that. And when you service your fork, that stuff slowly kind of seeps out. You'll see little rings on your fork from time to time that are dirty, it's not really leaking, but it's sometimes pumping out a little dirt or oil with it. And over time that goes away. So when you're servicing your fork, you're trying to replenish that.
Yeah.
Aside from a ton of other things. But, so when you flip it upside down, now the gravity is holding it right on that seal. And so you've got to have a better seal than you probably would on the 38. And so that's an issue that I believe they ran into. From what I understand, we never saw that issue with our forks. In the one on the wall that we rent doesn't have any issues. One of our reps who has it on their bikes, they had that issue, and Fox took care of it right away. So
they've like changed the seal now.
Yeah, and
to solve it.
I don't think it was consistent, but I think they have a solution, and there's a good chance that my forks in the shop
already has a solution implemented.
Yeah, okay. Because we haven't had that issue. But it's
so if you buy a new one today, it's like chances are that issue's been resolved.
Yeah, and if you bought an older one, Fox was taking care of you as fast as possible. So it is a new product, and the bike industry. Well, and the bike industry tends to test its stuff on us, and so there is. I'm accepting of that because I've been doing it so long.
Yep.
Somebody who buys a $2,000 fork and it leaks right away is going to be less sympathetic because they just spent $2,000 on a fork. So I will tell those people, have a little patience because that's not a big issue. They'll fix that. So then the second one was
the bushing alignment and friction.
Okay. So sometimes you come to me with stuff that I think is
dumb
and where you got this. But I kind of feel like you're getting this from some videos where you see people.
So this came from Vital, this came from Pink Bike, and this came from Claude searching the web and taking 20 different.
I don't trust Claude. He's a machine.
You probably should trust Claude.
I
mean, as long as you say double check, triple check, and you go look at the sources and you read it.
Yeah.
It's just a quick way for me to find a bunch of different sources for information. So what I will tell you is, there is a significant amount of sources out there.
Well, you don't have to defend Claude because he's a machine. He doesn't care.
I'm not defending Claude. I'm just saying there are a number of sources out there that say there's a bushing alignment and friction problem with this fork.
So I haven't seen that. Again, I don't have every single fork coming in.
Yep.
I
mean, you have a data point of 1 at this point, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, different people riding it, but other than that, we don't have a ton out. I've had a few out there, and I haven't got any bad seal. Usually, if I sell one of those, I'm going to hear if the seal's leaking. So what I have seen is this trend of some videos on social media where a service center is showing how the fork should move with no seals in it, and and then they're like, look, this was wrong, and we fixed this, and I'm not 100% on board with what they're doing.
You're not confident that they're 100%, that they've got 100% integrity in their posts.
Well, not only that, but there is a tolerance window when you create a product. And so, I did talk to Fox about some of this stuff, and one of my customers, it was one of my reps. So a rep is a representative of a brand. They get to ride this stuff too. And his feedback was, hey, it felt like it was binding, right? And so then he sent it back to Fox, and then Fox tested it, and then they said that there was it was not out of tolerance. Okay. And so what that means is that it is within the parameters of manufacturing that they accept, their quality control standard. And you can have one that is much smoother, and you can have one that's a little more bindy, and they're within their criteria because they're looking at dynos in actual use, not some guy sliding it.
Yeah, but I mean, put yourself in the shoes of a consumer.
Wait, let me give you an example of how I actually. So when I bought one of my tightest bikes, and I may have said this story on the air before.
I don't think so. Go ahead.
I went up to Phoenix where they had them, and they had racks of front ends and racks of rear ends. There's a carbon fiber bike, and I told them, I want the lightest one, and they said, well, I don't know how to tell. I'm like, you got a scale? And I went and no joke, and I went and weighed each front end. I was getting a medium, and so I took 3 or 4 of the medium front ends, and I weighed them, and then I picked out the lightest one and set it aside. They were almost 100 grams difference in these front triangles.
That's a quarter pound.
Yeah. That was within their spec. and that bike was sellable, and people are going to get those.
Yeah.
Now, another example is we were selling Envy wheels, and we got in a set, and it happened to be the guy that I worked with was buying them, and he weighed them, and they were 200 grams heavier than what Envy listed them as. And he was upset. He's like, look, I paid a lot of money. I paid almost
a half pound heavier.
I paid almost $3,000 for a wheel set because it was light, and now it's in the 1,500 gram zone, $1,500 zone of weight.
Of price point.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And so, but that was within tolerance. Now, he sent them back, and Envy sent him another set a month later, and they ended up being only 150 grams heavier than their website.
Wow.
And in the meantime, they changed the weight on the website. So just telling you,
okay.
So
you're losing me though. Like, okay.
Well, the reason I say this is because some people will have this visual idea of what it should be.
Yeah.
But the actual testing and performance isn't affected by that enough for them to.
So should someone that has $2,000,
mm-hmm.
it's okay with a pound heavier,
mm-hmm.
that's looking for something in the 160, 170, 38 class bike.
Yeah.
That $2,000 is not going to break the bank for them. Should they buy a Podium?
I think if you take money away, absolutely, it's an awesome fork. If you're really trying to be a weight weenie, like to say you're trying to build an enduro bike that's 27 pounds, you're not going to put that fork on. If you are on a budget and you have 2 kids in college and you're trying to pay for everything, you're not going to buy that fork. If you want the best performing fork and it's 160 or 170 millimeters, and you are looking for the best feeling Fox that's made for 160, 170 millimeters, that's the fork.
Do you know that we haven't gotten to one question, of our topics yet, and we're an hour in? We're going to stick with suspension for this whole episode.
Okay, yeah, because we can skip
we'll skip everything but the suspension stuff.
Yeah. So in this review, I will tell you, if money's not an issue and weight's not your concern, and you're looking for a 160, 170 fork,
you like the Podium. The Podium.
The Podium is great. And I will tell you that I've said before that I'm a DVO guy. I like that feel. So I will also put the disclaimer that I am looking for a comfortable, small bump compliant fork that doesn't dive and absorbs bumps well. If you're a jumper, you may not want this fork because you may not get it stiff enough to pop off lips and things like that.
Right.
So, but if you are looking for one of the smoothest, most accurate forks on the market, that when you point it in a direction, it goes that way. Yeah, it's a pretty.
For
awesome
your personal bike, if you had to pick between the comparable DVO product,
that's tough,
and the Podium, what would you do?
If they were both being given to me?
No. Let's say you got to buy them. You got to spend your money.
I got to tell you, once you put money in, I'm going to buy the DVO.
Okay.
I did. That bike now has a DVO on it.
Yeah.
Because
what's the DVO product?
Onyx.
Onyx
SL.
Okay.
And so that Podium we rent. So that's one of the things that I got to tell you that I think more dealers need to do is that Podium changed my mind when I rode it.
It's a premium product.
Yeah, but when I rode it, I could see the benefit and the money started to melt away. Yep. All of a sudden, I'm like,
So slightly better than the DVO from a performance perspective, but if you were spending your own hard-earned cash, you would go with the DVO over the Podium.
Yeah, I think when you put money, I couldn't say that fork did almost double what the DVO costs, and so that was tougher. So.
Okay, all right, let's stick with the suspension theme. We'll cover a couple more things and then we'll close it out. Okay, so. I don't know how, I randomly ran into these products that are, best I can tell, no major bike brand carries them. But the problem they were trying to solve, these products, is if you have a fork and you've cut the steerer too short.
Oh God.
If you've cut the steerer too short, there are some products available on Amazon that can extend your steering tube. So, and it's got like a compression thing and you squeeze it in and it looks pretty sweet.
Okay.
So here's my question. If your fork steer tube is cut too short for the bike that you're trying to put that fork on, and you're the world's greatest suspension expert, or one of them, I believe.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that. What can I do? Am I fucked, or is there something else I can do?
Okay, so I'm going to try not to give you snarky answers.
No, give me snarky answers. That's totally
fine. Snarky answer is if you bought something off Amazon, you're just, No. I'm just saying. Do you have good life insurance?
I've got a Fox 38 factory, and the steer tube is cut a half inch shorter, or whatever that is in millimeters, shorter than I need. Am I fucked? Do I have to buy a new Fox 38, or is there a solution?
So the real solution, non-snarky, is that you can buy a new CSU. That's a crown steer upper, and that is the gold stanchions if it's a Fox factory.
Yep.
The crown that holds those, and then the steer tube.
How much is that?
Don't quote me, around $300 to $350.
Okay, so on a $1,250 fork, I can spend $350
and fix that problem. And that does happen, by the way. Somebody will buy a new bike, right? But they've just upgraded, like last year, their fork, and they're like, okay, I want to put this fork on that bike. We see it a lot less lately. I don't know why. I think it's because the steer tubes got smaller. At one point, the steer tubes were longer, and it was really harder to find the right length. But yeah, the big thing that I see when that happens is somebody has bought like a used fork online.
Yeah.
And then they get it home to go put it in, and then it doesn't fit.
You can't replace the steer tube. You have to replace the whole stanchion.
So there are some companies that claim that they can replace the steer tube.
What's your experience? What's your perspective?
My perspective is,
have you done it
in the States? I am in a place where I could lose my whole livelihood if that steer tube fails. And everything I know about the manufacturing of the way those are made, you can't make that interface good enough. And so if you replace the steer tube, there are companies that do this. They'll push the old steer tube out and put in a new one, and they will tell you that it's safe. And they may believe that. They are small companies, and they're doing something that none of the manufacturers will do. Because those big manufacturers, RockShox, DVO, Fox, Olin's, all these companies, they don't believe that will be a strong enough interface, and you are going to not only run into like annoying things.
Okay,
like
so don't try to. Your perspective is don't try to put a new steer tube.
There's a guy who
and do you have any experience with these extenders that go in and compress?
Very bad. Don't do that stuff.
So Dane's looking at me like, why are you asking me this question, you dumbass?
Well, I'll tell you that like there's a lot of things to get more upright, and we have some customers that are elderly and they want to be more upright, and they're going to ride the loop, which is paved and there's no grades.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about here. Yeah.
If you're riding a mountain bike, if you're riding a Fox 38 and you're riding on the loop and never going off road,
then you're an idiot.
Well, yeah, it's not the right fork, but if you're using a Fox 38 how it should be, there is so much stress on that part of that fork. There is so much stress.
Do it the right way. Spend $350 and replace the.
Did you know that the Fox 38 is actually oval inside the steer tube?
I did not know that. I'm trying to figure out how the star nut fits in there if it's over too.
It still works in the top a little bit, but it gets in the meat of it. It's oval. Okay. So like, for instance, we found this out. One, they told us, but two, some of the tools that you can put up inside steer tubes won't fit on 38 sometimes because of the oval.
Okay.
And what they did was they're trying to reduce weight, but they're trying to increase strength. Yeah. And so if you've known back in the day, we used to ride Thompson seat posts.
Yeah.
They were the same. And with the thickness.
By the way, Thompson seat post, still good seat post.
Awesome.
Just not droppers, but still good.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do they have a dropper? I think they do.
They do, but trust me, nobody rides it. I love Thompson stuff.
Thompson's going to kick our ass now.
Yeah, but I love, you should see some of their bars. They're really nice. They're doing tie. They make cool stuff. But their old seat posts were oval also, and the thick part would be at the front and the back so that as you're stressing it forward, climbing or descending, it was much stronger, but that's how they got rid of it. And they're a machine company, so they were machining that out of aluminum. So they had to machine one circular thing that goes all the way down that tube, and then they had to go machine it again a little bit. I mean, that's talent, if you've ever had to machine anything.
Yeah.
And then they bend them. Have you seen the bent ones?
Yeah.
They're crazy. So anyway, sorry, tangent. Yeah, there's no safe way to do that. There's no safe way. In fact, some of the companies will actually have a limit on how many spacers under your stem you're supposed to have.
Yeah, I'm running into that right now.
And so
that's why I have an SQ Labs Dryzer.
Yeah.
Gravel bar over there because
and really, if you think about it, you're 220 pounds or whatever.
Yeah, I'm 250 pounds, but go ahead.
But yeah,
thank you for taking 30 pounds off my frame.
If you put all of your weight on those bars, and if you happen to put all of your weight on one side,
I'm gonna fuck it up.
You're gonna strip that thing right out of there.
Yeah.
And it's just, you don't want to mess around with that part of the bike. If you want to go blingy or make things different, or, like people will buy like the handlebar, like super uber light one and put it on, but they got it on AliExpress. That's not smart.
Yeah. Don't buy, I think this is a general recommendation that the Mountain Cog Podcast would make.
Yeah.
Do not buy, except for maybe valve stem caps.
Yeah.
Do not buy bike products on AliExpress.
Well, and there's some that are really, really important. Like even when I get a scratch on my carbon handlebar, I will usually retire that bar.
Yeah.
Now I'll let my kids ride it, but
because they weigh like 40 pounds.
And that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And I say that jokingly, but I'm not joking. Like, I am considering my weight on that thing.
And Dane weighs, what do you weigh?
I don't talk about that. We don't talk about that right now. It's almost Thanksgiving. It's the holidays.
Yeah, he's going to weigh more in a week than he does today.
Time. I weigh differently after I go to the bathroom. But so, it's not polite to ask a gentleman his weight.
It is polite to ask a gentleman his weight. Gentlemen don't care.
The moral is those steer extensions are a bad idea. It's no matter what company that's slinging them says.
Yeah.
If you break your face or worse, die because that thing fails, it's not worth it. Yeah. And people will say that. Like, if they come to me and they're like, "Hey, this doesn't fit and I need a longer steer tube," they will try and justify through money or whatever those things.
$20 for a extender. And
I just have to remind them that, dude, if you hit a drop on this thing and it fails, you are face planted.
That $400 a year, $350 you would have spent,
it is not worth it.
What's your deductible for your insurance?
Yeah. There's sometimes, you don't have to get the $120 tire. You can go get the Brand X $60, $80 colored tire, like Babyfoot rides.
Babyfoot.
So you can do that, and it's not going to be as critical. But man, don't mess with your handlebars. Don't mess with your stem, and definitely don't mess with your steer tube.
I'm going to go in a rabbit hole real quick. We've talked about it before. We had them on the podcast. I didn't really know much about Vittoria. Mm-hmm. I will not buy a tire that's not Vittoria right now.
You can tell why I'm kind of fanatic. Now, again, I try not to talk people out of Maxxis because they make a good product. And there's, I always have to remember that my experiences aren't everybody's experiences. But yeah, I'm kind of there with you.
Dude, they're just fucking...
They are
awesome.
Now, if you look at my garage, there's quite a few Maxxis on bikes in there, but eventually I got to get rid of them. They keep coming on the bikes I buy. I wish the bikes I was buying had the Vittorias. I wouldn't have to deal with that. So they're a good tire. There's nothing wrong with Maxxis. And if you're riding Maxxis, don't feel bad. But if you haven't given Vittoria a try next time you're shopping, I would definitely give them a shot.
Do it. For sure. Okay, listen, I know that we promised we would talk about SAG, and I've got 20 other topics to talk about here. We're an hour and 15 minutes in. I'm going to cut it.
All right. I'm okay with that. And I hopefully everybody liked this. I was long-winded on the podium, and I apologize.
It's okay. No, it's an interesting thing. I wanted to get your perspective.
Yeah.
Mr. Dane, do you have any final thoughts for our listeners?
It's easy for me to sit back and tell people to just spend more money on their stuff, and not everybody can do that. And so if you have to cut corners, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's smart ways to do it.
Don't cut it on a fork steer extender.
Yeah. There is definitely ways that you can kind of
If you need to cut corners and you're not sure how to do it, send us an email.
Yeah, be safe.
Send us a note.
Yeah.
We'll advise you on this is good or not.
I love value, and I love getting people on bikes, and I don't want to see them hurt. So... That's serious. That's not funny at all.
It's not funny. No.
Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry, man. That's what I do. I laugh. All right. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
it's
happy
probably
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it'll be after Thanksgiving we publish this.
Yeah,
whatever.
but for us, it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Can you dig